Hello everyone, before I begin my presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Dewa Irina Saraswati with student number 221541154. And we are from group 3 that will be explaining about Margaret Fuller. The first one is about biography and background. Margaret Fuller was born on May 23rd, 1810 in Cambridgeport, Massachusetts into a family where education was highly valued. Her father, Timothy Fuller, was a lawyer and congressman who, despite wanting a son, gave his daughter an education as rigorous as any boys received at that time. However, she later admitted that her father's demanding expectation caused her childhood nightmares and sleepwalking. Fuller's life took a dramatic turn in 1835 when her father died suddenly of cholera, leaving the family in financial distress. At just 23 years old, she vowed to become the head of the household and supported her widowed mother and younger siblings.
Hello, my name is Margaret and my last digit number is 156. Today I would like to explain my part is the Elizabeth Fuller educations. So on this slide, we can see the early education journey of her when she actually began homeschooling with her father, which helped shape her basic knowledge and curiosity from a young age. And in 1819, she attended Port School in Cambridgeport, marking one of her first experiences in a more structured learning environment. Later, between 1821 and 1822, she continued her education at the Boston Lyceums for Young Ladies, which catered especially to advanced learning for young women. And in 1824, she moved to Miss Susan Prescott School for Young Ladies in Groton, Massachusetts, where she received more formal instructions. And lastly, it's important to note that she didn't attend a regular public school until she was 14 years old, and meaning most of her early learning happened either at home or in specialized private school. So that's all my explanations about Elizabeth Fuller education. Thank you.
Margaret Fuller's life was shaped by resilience, education, and her determination to lift women's voices. After her father passed away, she became the main provider for her family and began working as a teacher. She first taught at Bronson's Alcott's Temple School in Boston, and later at Green Street School in Providence, Rhode Island, between 1836 and 1839. In 1839, she started her famous Conversations, a discussion group for women designed to give them access to intellectual education they couldn't receive in college at that time. And these gatherings were revolutionary. They offer a space for women to think critically and express themselves freely. And during this period, Margaret formed lifelong friendships with key transcendentalist figures, including Ralph Waldo Emerson. And this network helped shape her writing, activism, and philosophical views. And later, she became a journalist for the New York Daily Tribune, where she wrote more than 250 articles covering social issues, art, literature, and politics. And through her work, teaching, and advocacy, Margaret Fuller became one of the most influential voices in early American feminism.
Hello everyone, so my name is Nimade Ayuwianita and my last digit number 153. And now I will explain you the important work in ideas of Margaret Fuller on women's rights. The first, her most famous work in the book is Woman in the 19th Century from 1845. It is considered the first major feminist book in America. This book started in an essay called The Great Lawsuit, which was published in the Ideal magazine, where she was the editor. And she also shared her ideas throughout their job as a journalist, writing over 2,050 newspaper articles about social issues. And second is, through her writing, Fuller challenged the traditional roles of women as only housewives. She also fought against laws that prevents women from owner property. And her most revolutionary idea was that both men and women have masculine and feminist qualities. She believed your biology does not limit your potential. Her famous book sold out in only 1 week, introducing many Americans to feminist idea for the first time. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for listening my presentation.
Even though Margaret Fuller was a literature, she also an active journalist who used to use her platform to highlight systematic inequality. She worked as a journalist for the New York Daily Tribune, where she wrote over 250 columns covering social issues including abolition, prison reform, poverty, mental health, and labor. She criticized all the economic inequality about the institution of slavery, report on the condition within the prisons, advocate them. She covered issues related to urban poverty and etc. She also approached education access and was driven by her own experience, although she received a very strong education from her father that was normally reserved for boys. She was keenly aware of the limitation placed on women for education. So she talked about the problem about education. Fuller identified that women were systematically excluded from higher education and couldn't go to college. With her solution, she began leading conversation class in 1839 that were discussing about provide women with a high-level education that were denied by the university. And also the last one is public advocacy. Beyond her own class, she cared deeply about the broader issue, about the broader issue of public education reform.